ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today we're doing a keyboard review. And it's of this guy right here, which I left plugged in for you guys, so you could see what it looks like. It's the Gamdias Hermes M1, and this is the 7-color model. So I wanted to look at this one because it's coming in at a very aggressive price point, that's for sure, considering the features that it has. So I thought it'd be good because a lot of you guys asked me to review keyboards that are more affordable than the really sort of high-end ones. Sometimes I check out that maybe only, certain enthusiasts can actually afford. So let's get right into it then with this and talk about the design. And the first thing you'll notice is, of course, that brushed aluminium top plate. And boy, it looks good. For a keyboard coming in at the price point that it does, this is pretty impressive to see. So I was really impressed straight off the bat by it. The keycaps look okay, but the font is kind of random. I don't know how I feel about it. It's sort of kind of strange. It's like they were trying too hard with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. If you flip it over underneath, it's all plastic, fantastic. It has 2 stands, which are good. It keeps it at a good angle. You'll also find a key puller on the bottom, which is a great idea because I always seem to lose mine when I need them. So it's good that it's right there. If you ever need it, you can just flip it over and grab it. So that's quite good. The only thing that feels funny with the design for me is the build quality. And you might be thinking, whoa, what do you mean? It looks pretty good to me, that aluminium top plate. That must make it nice and sturdy and stuff. Yeah, it does. It's just, it's really hard for me to describe as a reviewer. But you know how sometimes you get a product and you just feel it and it just doesn't feel like quite as well built as other ones? That's kind of what this feels like in a lot of ways. And that was compounded by the fact that when I turn it over, you'll see this little rubber pad here. This one actually, I've stuck it back on, but you can see I can easily just pull this straight back off. That's not good. Now, that may just be me being unlucky with getting these, but stuff like that is not what I like to see, especially on, this is brand new as well. Like I used this for about 5 days now. So this is only 5 days of use and already things are coming off. Like, I don't usually see that. So a little bit disappointed there. However, your mileage may vary. You might buy this keyboard and it's great for like years. So, who knows. But that's just been my experience so far. Now let's get over to the keys then, because that's important. So it's coming with Gamdias' certified blue switches. Now I looked everywhere to try to find some information on these guys, and I can't seem to find it anywhere. So if you can, please let me know, because I tried to find some more information about these guys and I just really couldn't. From how they feel and my personal experience testing, I've probably tested over 100 mechanical keyboards now, it feels like a Kale blue switch. Now take that with a grain of salt because I'm only guessing, but to me that's what it feels like, the Kale blue switch. So that's what I would say it is. But yeah, it's similar to the Cherry MX Blue in that it's clicky, sort of similar actuation and all of that. So that's what it feels similar to. But just like the Kales, it just doesn't feel quite as good as a Cherry MX. And by that, I mean it doesn't feel quite as precise or as crisp as the Cherry MX Blue switch. That's the best way I could put it. But it's still decent. I mean, I'm certainly not saying it's a bad switch. That's for sure. It still feels decent to me, and it still seems quite good to use. The big downside with it being is that the keycaps feel really loose on the switch. It's not the switch itself being loose and where it's mounted, it's the keycap itself. It just feels really loose. They could really improve that because it doesn't feel that good. But to type on, it's just fine. For gaming, it was great. I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 5 recently with Steve over at Hardware Unbox, and I've been using this keyboard a lot for it, and it's felt just fine. So I have no issues there. Sound-wise, to give you guys, I'll move it over here so you can see. Similar to a Cherry MX Blue. If you've heard a Cherry MX Blue switch or a Kale Blue switch, exactly the same noise. So that's what you can kind of expect in terms of sound from this keyboard. It is going to be on the louder side, so maybe if you're using this for in an office or something, maybe consider that first before you buy it. Now let's go over to lighting. So it comes with their 7-color lighting, which looks okay. I mean, it's a bit mild, but, you know, for this price point, it's still alright. Their Hera software is horrendous, though. It's like almost unusable. This is probably one of the worst softwares I've ever used. I can't seem to adjust the lighting. I don't know if that's the software being buggy or just this keyboard, you cannot customize the lighting very much on it, but I couldn't. You can basically change it to be responsive, you know, the brightness and the breathing mode, but that's about it. You can't actually go around and set specific colors on different things, so it's not RGB in that sense. It's just 7 different colors as you see it now, so pretty much what you see is what you get. Of course, you can turn it off if you don't want that, and for this price point, I still think it's decent that it has some lighting on it that looks good, because a lot of keyboards at this price point just don't come with any lighting, mechanical keyboards that is, so it's still good in that sense, but don't expect too much in terms of lighting with it. As far as other features go, it's coming with a braided USB cable with a gold-plated connector. That's good to see. 21 key rollover, which worked really well. I had no issues there. 1000 Hz polling rate, and it does come with a plastic wrist rest, which doesn't really attach very well, and it's really hard, the plastic, so it didn't feel that good. It's not like when you have a Corsair K70 and it has that sort of rubberized wrist rest, and that feels quite nice and attached really nicely. This one's no good, so I'd probably give it a miss. I mean, it does come with it, but I didn't use it because it didn't feel that good to me. Which brings us now to the conclusion. And what do I make of the Gamdias Hermes M1 7-color mechanical keyboard? So let's bring price into it. So right now, this is coming in at $90 USD from Gamdias directly on their website. And for that price, it's a pretty compelling keyboard, because that is pretty cheap for what you're getting with it. So I do like the design. It does look good. Yeah, especially for a $90 US keyboard, people are going to look at it and be like, wow, that looks awesome. But I do worry a little bit about the build quality. I wish I could find more information on the switches, but overall, they're still decent. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, especially at this price point. Cherry Mix switches will be better, but these ones are still decent, so that's not the end of the world. The keycaps really let down the show, though. They could be improved quite a lot. They could get better feel, be kind of tighter in terms of how they sit on the switch, and also the font really needs to be redone. The lighting looks good, but it isn't very customizable, so just keep that in mind, and the Hera software is pretty hit or miss. You can still set macros and stuff with it if you want, but yeah, in general, it wasn't that good. And overall, I think this is a decent keyboard, made compelling by the fact that it is only $90 US. So would I recommend it then? And I would say yes, but I would look around first, see if there's other keyboards that maybe fit your needs better, but if they don't, this one will do nicely for you. But think about those cons that I mentioned in this video, because if you're a person that will take a lot of issue with them, especially something like keycaps, then it may bother you a lot with this keyboard. Otherwise, overall, it is a decent keyboard and it'll get you by really nicely, especially for $90 USD. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.